Hello, my fellow flawless, limitless, sexy, sassy, saucy HBICs. How are you on this lovely morning, afternoon, or evening? How are you all? I hope you're all choosing to be the versions of self that have exactly what you want. I hope that's what you're doing. Always choosing to show up, identify, be the you who is living the life you've always wanted. I hope you're making that choice. If you're new here, how you doing? I'm Kimberly, and I am absolutely obsessed to know anything and everything that there is to know about conscious manifestation. Yes, I am. And I'm always obsessed with getting exactly what I want. And if you can handle this sass, I would love for you to subscribe and come back and see me and let me know that you subscribe so I can know who my new friend is, because YouTube does not always tell me. Okay? If you'd like to work with me in any way, shape, or form, all of that information is in my drop box below, and you just click it, and all that information is there. I highly encourage you to join the VIP, the Advanced Manifestors group. That's the group that deep dives manifestation. Yeah, we expand our awareness so we're not stressing out over our 3D reality. Wow, am I having a difficult time getting words out today? Anyway, I highly encourage you to join that one, because that one does give you access to all the other channel memberships. We have the Success Story Tips and Tricks Zhuzh Only group, which is the exclusive lives. And we have the Get Your Butt into the Hot Seat and Ask Me Anything You Want about your situation, what you're manifesting, for about 10 to 15 minutes, roughly. That's the hot seat group. So that VIP Advanced Manifestors group, that gives you access to all the channel memberships and all the replays of the channel memberships as well, because they're recorded. Okay, enough selling myself. Let's get to it. What are we talking about today? Well, today we're going to talk about your view on reality. Now, yes, it's a topic we talk about all the time, how we're perceiving reality. You know, we try not to judge it. We want to, just hurry up and get what we want so that we can, breathe that breath of relief and move on, blah, 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 blah. But at the same time, I think it would be a really good idea for you to have the expectancy of enjoying the journey. I know, I did not have that attitude, especially in the beginning of my journey. I didn't enjoy it at all. I wanted things quick. I still do. I don't like waiting. Nobody wants to wait. But I often judged my 3D. I often judged it. And I was always viewing reality as not working, or definitely not working fast enough. I was in the state of being a version of myself that was consistently frustrated with my 3D, really frustrated. I would allow every circumstance that popped up to throw me around like I was a leaf on a really windy day. I was all over the place. And it felt miserable, truthfully, miserable. And if you notice, a lot of my videos are talking to people who are maybe feeling the way I just described. And it's not because I think you're all miserable out there and, unhappy with your realities. However, I know what I needed to hear and wished there had been channels talking like me back then. So I'm hoping to be that voice for you. If you have this one way or this one track mind of how you think a manifestation should play out, and are judging reality because you're not seeing it play that way at all, this is exactly an example of what I mean by letting go of your reality. When we expect things to unfold in a very specific way, and again, I'm not telling you that you can't manifest something specifically. I'm saying when you're looking at reality in every single moment, you're clutching for things to turn out a specific way. So in other words, if you're manifesting a specific person, and maybe you're someone that has some kind of contact with your person, and yet they really aren't saying the words like, we're back together, baby. I want to be with you forever. Maybe you're not hearing that. And I know that sucks. And I know what you want to hear is, let's just get back together, yo. Let's just do this. And that is a really, like, probably the common sense way of thinking a manifestation could unfold. But what I have found on my journey is the things that I expected, common sense expected to play out in reality, they never happened. They never happened. And all the things that I said to myself, okay, when this happens, then I know this is working. That was a really, as Vadim Zeland would say, primitive way to view reality. And when we get stuck in that primitive thinking, and I mean primitive, like primate, early days primate kind of thinking. When we're stuck in that thinking, that can lead to us judging reality. And again, this is not a topic you've never heard of before, but maybe you're viewing your reality right now is not working, or maybe not as fast as you would like it to work. And it's that thinking that is probably keeping you in a cycle of not enjoying the reflection or the experience you're having. When this is a choice to enjoy the journey, to enjoy it. Now, I know some of us don't love the idea of calling it a journey because it makes us feel like that means it's going to be a long time. And it's not. I'm trying to tell you that your manifestation is literally happening right now. And what you're living today, right now, as you're watching this video, what you're living day to day is you living the manifestation itself. Now, for some of you, I'm sure your mind went right to logical thinking, and you were probably saying something along the lines, Kim, if I was living my manifestation, my specific person and I would be in a relationship. Or Kim, if I was living the manifestation, my bank account would have a lot more zeros after that number. And I get it. I was a super logical person too. Super logical. And nobody warned me that life would kind of feel a little normal. And I might have days where I'm irritated as hell with reality. But those moments don't mean I'm not doing this right. Those moments don't mean that we're not experiencing our own unfolding of the desire that's on your mind right now. I was living my manifestation and didn't know it. I didn't understand that because I was acting like a primate. I was being basic bitch. I was a primitive bitch. If I didn't logically see exactly what I wanted, then I could not believe that this was actually the road or the timeline or the reality of where I'm going to get what I want. And I would clutch reality tighter. And when I say clutch reality, what I mean is I had a dead set plan of events that I believed needed to unfold in this perfect formation for me to believe or to trust or to accept that this was actually working. And if you're doing that right now, please, I invite you to stop today. You see, when you consciously abandon control of a situation or your reality, you end up gaining real control instead. That was Vadim Zeland. And it's so true. The sooner I said, fuck it, to reality and started giving it the meaning, truthfully, the real meaning that everything was working out for me and somehow this bullshit that I don't like in reality really is leading to my end, I changed. I became a new version of myself. My reality started reflecting that new thinking. And no one can take that away from you. No one can steal that everything is working out for you away from you. No one can rob you of your choice in perspective, your choice on how you're viewing your reality. Now, if you're someone that buys into Vadim Zeland's view of reality, and Vadim Zeland would say that, when situations, let's say specific person manifestation, when situations unfold where, your specific person is saying they don't want the relationship with you, the most common response to that is worry, fear, maybe even anger, hurt. And that's the pendulum. The pendulum is the energy, right? Now, you know what a pendulum is, right? It swings back and forth. It's that energy sucking you in to get in line and respond to being hurt, to being dumped in the love category, the same way the pendulum wants you to be the same, like a sheep. You're supposed to have hurt feelings. You're supposed to be frustrated and worried about what your specific person is doing now because they said no to you. Or maybe you're supposed to be angry and offended. Now, I'm not saying your feelings aren't valid. It's okay. Listen, let's just keep it real. I'm a human being. You're a human being. And if my own SP said they didn't want to be with me, which, I'm just saying, if you've been here, you've heard my journey. Yes, I responded with hurt feelings. But I learned my lesson. I learned to stop focusing on the things I didn't want. I learned my lesson to put the focus on being the version of myself that has exactly what I want, and that's exactly what I got. I learned. But what I'm trying to say is no one could force me to have a perspective out here. And although in my early days, I was the person giving in to the pendulum and hopping right on top of that pendulum and swinging away, I did fall in line. I did respond the way a pendulum wants you to. That energy of you should be hurt and seethe in those hurt feelings or angry feelings, disappointment, resentment, seethe in that. And then once that moment's over, now you can be depressed. Now you can go back to worrying about being alone your whole life. I listened and I got on the pendulum and I suffered until I had enough of that shit. Read Neville Goddard again, had major explosions of understanding, and life did change. I changed. No one can take away or force you to perceive reality and make judgments about it. You have that power. So right now, if you're manifesting, whatever it is, money, a specific person, and the events that you thought were going to unfold to lead you to having that money, to having that relationship, if those events, if those things didn't unfold exactly the way you thought they should, or that you really, really wanted to, your manifestation is still happening. You're still going to get what you want. But you got to decide that you are that self. You got to not give up. Don't jump on the pendulum. Don't give in to that negative energy. Pendulums are always going to be there. And again, if you really don't understand a pendulum, think of it this way. Negativity exists. It's kind of a limited belief, but it exists. We're either positive or negative. You're happy or you're not. Okay? Reach for the neutral or the happy. Because that's what we were meant to be. Happy. Manifesting the life we desire. The life we've always dreamed of. That's what our soul came here for. To experience life. But not to be sitting and hurt and in depression and falling in line like a sheep. Just because the world tells you, hey, your specific person said they don't want you, girl. You need to give up on him and move on. Or give up on her and move on, depending on what you're into. That's what the world would tell you to do. Give up. Find somebody else. Now listen, finding somebody else, that's not a big deal. That's okay. It's your choice who you choose for love. I'm just telling you, you don't have to listen to what the world expects. That's how we get stuck in stereotypical responding to life. That's how we get stuck on a pendulum. We compare ourselves, we compare our manifestation journey to everyone else on the journey. And we assume we're doing something wrong because maybe we don't feel great today. Maybe we had negative thoughts yesterday. Maybe it looks like nothing really has moved. Maybe it's been a while and nothing's moved. No one can steal your perception and your decision away from you, so make it. Make the decision to be the version of you that has what you want. You give your focus, attention, and energy to yourself. You make you the priority. You choose yourself. You bask in that. You bask in knowing that you really can have whatever you want. You just got to choose it for yourself and not be fooled by circumstances. It's so easy and so primitive to see a circumstance and automatically assume that something's wrong and now you're not going to get what you want, or that you're stuck, you're blocked, you're a mess, you haven't fixed your self-concept, you haven't healed old trauma wounds. Make a choice of who you want to be and you choose that. Get off the pendulum. You've heard me say, or you've read it yourself by Neville Goddard, that there is the idea of death to the old man, death to the old self. Think of the old self as being stuck on pendulums. We want to break free from the old habits, the old logical reasoning of deciphering reality. This is probably going to be one of the biggest things that you learn along this journey of self. Things don't always look the way we think they should. Things might come in a different way, but you will always get your outcome. You will always get your moment of, holy shit, I did it. Holy shit, it's here. You're going to have it. But staying aware and remembering that it is so easy to fall back into our old conditioning. Let the old man die. Our mind, it's geared to argue and to reason and to bring us back to realistic thinking. That's what you're breaking free of. Remember, when you're feeling that negative energy pull, you can define that as kind of like a pendulum trying to pull you back in. There are pendulums everywhere, and you don't even have to read or understand reality transurfing to understand that your mind is probably giving you thoughts that aren't favorable along your manifestation journey. And how sometimes you're able to just let the thoughts go by, and other times you get sucked right in. You feel that energy pull to go back to a victim state, to worry about reality, to see things logically. All you're doing is slipping back into the old habit of trying to protect your heart, trying to protect yourself from being hurt because this shit is just too good to be true. Or maybe you just weren't meant for the thing that you're manifesting or the person you're manifesting. That's not true. You wouldn't even be able to think the thought about what you want to manifest. You wouldn't even be able to think think of having a relationship with your specific person, to think about your bank account saying $1 million or more, or living in your dream home, or whatever it is you're manifesting. You wouldn't even be able to think about that subject if you didn't already have it, if you weren't already in line to experience it, in a sense. You already are that. You just have to be aware of it. You just have to clear your mind of the limits, of the logical thinking, of the worrying, of assuming this isn't working. It's just a conscious thought. It's one thought away from magically transforming your reality. I know you've probably heard it 1,000 times before, especially if you watch a lot of manifestation content, but please don't let your current 3D reality, don't let it influence your decision to give up on this. If you really want what you're manifesting, if it's really on your heart to experience it, then please allow yourself to visualize, to affirm, to do whatever techniques feel good to you, and give it to yourself. Give it to yourself by focusing on being the you that has it. Really take the time to imagine what it would feel like to have what you're manifesting. You are getting closer and closer and closer to seeing it in your physical. Allow yourself to feel okay, to feel happy along the journey, because I promise you, we might not always understand reality, but it's always leading to our end. But we have to be the ones that consciously choose it for ourselves. And it's really just a thought. Hey, I am this self. I am that version of myself. That's who I am. Yes, it can be that simple. It's changed my life. If you're not new to my channel, you've heard me say it 1,000,000 times, but it's the truth. It's changed my life. But I stopped logically interpreting my reality. I stopped. Am I perfect? No. Well, I mean, I like to think so. But am I? No. Do I have days that I'm frustrated? Do I have days where I'm not loving how things have unfolded for whatever I'm manifesting? Yes, because I'm still having the human experience. But I know what to return to. I know to stand in my decision with conviction. I know that whatever I'm deciding I want to experience, I know I'm eventually going to have it. I know I am. I know that I am who I say I am. And I know it's because I think that conscious thought that I'm going to have what I want, because I'm going to. I've learned that everything really does lead you to what you want. You might just not see it with the very short-sighted view that we have, especially if we're viewing reality logically. Remember, that's the primitive way to view reality. Dean Zealand said it. I didn't. So on that note, I'll see you tomorrow.